The wretched had been half led, half dragged here by the warwolf he was chained to. He couldn't remember the last time he set foot out of Legion's camp. He couldn't remember much of anything since he was captured, not even his own name. His memory was filled with the horrors he had seen and done. Brutally whipped by yoke fiends and constantly toiling in the warforges, his body was scarred and pockmarked with the burns and deep gashes from the lash. He had been sold to the war priest by his demon masters, and now here he was, waiting in ambush with the heretic warband, about to attack the trench pilgrims who had come here to find the supply caravan. However, unbeknownst to both the heretics and the trench pilgrims, the soft bell-chime clink of an alchemist's armoured boots came to a halt at the far edge of the village. The low snarl of a lion of Gibeah slowly and gently crept to her right. There, she thought, as she calmly patted the great beast's mane, and with a slow nod of approval, sent it stalking its way towards the ruins. On a rooftop, overlooking O'Malley and the trench pilgrims, Johansen took careful aim at the alleyway the warprophet and the twins were about to walk into. Lining up his shot, he loaded an incendiary round into the rifle. With the click barely audible over the sound of the rain, he rested the rifle's bayonet lock against the roof's wall, and with his trench shield above him covering him from the worst of the downpour, took careful aim as the heretic warband wandered into view. The shot sailed through the night like brimstone cast by God himself, and the heretic was engulfed in flames as fierce fighting erupted throughout the alley. Johansen was about to load a second shot when off to his right a low growl was barely audible over the sound of Brother Eriksson being torn in half. The man didn't even have time to scream as a warwolf tore him in half, emerging through the shower of gore like a freight train barreling out of a tunnel. Scrambling to take aim, Johansen frantically loosed shots in the air. Harmlessly they bounced off of the warwolf's thick armour, and it leapt the building with horrifying agility before landing on the rooftop mere feet from him. Acting fast, Johansen speared the creature in its left side with the bayonet. The thing didn't even howl out or so much as whine in pain, as it swatted him aside with ease, like a child tossing an unwanted toy. Johansen flew backwards before tripping over the edge of the roof, the brief fall broken by the thud of a hard landing onto a man Johansen didn't recognise. Dazed, but otherwise unharmed, the Azeb recovered quickly and helped Johansen to his feet. Each had no time to question the other's presence, as the Azeb was torn limb from limb by the meteoric impact of the warwolf that had leapt the 10 feet from the roof with all the predatory intent of a bloodhound trapping an injured fox. Johansen was once again bowled over as the beast knocked him aside when it atomized the Azeb. He twisted his ankle, his rifle flung feet away. Johansen laid on the ground waiting for the inevitable doom of a storm of saw blades and teeth. But death did not come for him, as the warwolf crashed into the wall, cracking the stonework. It was pinned by something massive. It matched the warwolf in height, but its gorilla-like bulk had lifted the slender wolf from the ground as if it were mere feathers. The warwolf snarled and struck out, but massive human-like hands engulfed its armoured head and crushed it. The loud pop and pathetic whimper ended the wolf in a spectacular kaleidoscope of reds and rusted metal. The great beast had no time to turn, though, as the boulder-like form of a sin-eater smashed at its side with its mace. The great beast that had just saved him crashed to the ground next to Johansen, and as he scrambled to his feet in time to see a glass vial shatter against the sin-eater's head, the resulting explosion lit up the darkness, showing glittering armour of sultanate bronze adorning his colossal saviour. The Lion of Gibeah, as Johansen would later discover it was called, rose to its feet and met the behemoth sin-eater eye to eye. Barely fazed by the explosive that had just struck it in the head, the malicious, hungry gaze of the sin-eater fell on Johansen. He leapt back clumsily on his injured leg as the sin-eater reached for him, its fingers grasping at thin air as the Lion of Gibeah halted it with a swipe from its massive hands. Seconds later, more glass vials erupted on the sin-eater's armour, sending it stumbling as two women clad in gold ran from the darkness to join the fray. A short distance away, covered by the sound of rainfall, In the darkness of the night, the wretched crept through the streets, following the sounds of explosives. The Sin Eater had just gone this way, and whatever it had found it would surely kill. Several other wretched rounded the corner with him, and charged the curiously dressed woman in gold. One of the wretched exploded as he ran into the great arcing swing of the Sin Eater's mace as it battled a giant adorned in bronze. The trench pilgrim shot a second wretched in the chest, setting her alight, while a third tackled one of the golden women to the ground. The second golden woman threw a strange liquid at the wretched that set his scarred flesh bubbling on his arm, but the life of a wretched was one of constant pain, and he rushed forward, flailing his arms at her before the massive bronze beast was lifted by the Sin Eater and thrown in their direction. The bronze-clad beast knocked the wretched and the trench pilgrim over as it bowled into them. The trench pilgrim dropped his gun, and after a crazed scramble the wretched grabbed at it and fired at the beast in bronze. The beast in bronze burst into flames as the bullet hit home, and its skull was shattered like an old clay pot by the Sin Eater's mighty mace bearing down on it. The Sin Eater was unsteady, and many wounds and great rents in its armour spoke of grievous injuries. It swayed and fell onto one of the women in gold before briefly pinning her to the wall with its bulk as it died. The wretched seized his chance and charged past the injured pilgrim, ramming the bayonet into the golden woman's neck as the Sin Eater's bulk dragged her down. Enraged, the second golden woman threw another of the curious bottles at him, but he was already darting around the corner, having left the rifle buried in the woman's neck by the bayonet. As the wretched fled into the night, his accursed tattoos burned and lifted from his skin like embers lifting from a fire. As they left his body and a great weight seemed to leave him, the realization slowly dawned on him while he ran into the night that he had done it. Whoever the golden woman he had killed was, her worth was deemed sufficient enough by his demonic slave masters that her death had lifted the curse of his service, and as he ran into the night for the first time since his capture, he smiled. He may not know who he had been, but he knew where he wanted to go next. The wretched slave had disappeared into the night, and after a furious eruption of expletives in Arabic, the woman in gold had slapped Johansen as he retrieved his rifle from her friend's body. After a furious tirade of Arabic he didn't understand, Johansen figured he had better take the woman to O'Malley, and after limping down the alleyway, he had taken a shot at someone fighting Donahue. As the fighting ended, Johansen stepped into the courtyard, followed by the woman in gold. Somehow he had a feeling that this was going to be good. And there we have it, part 2 of Tales of a War Prophet, and if you are curious and would like to know where this story began, click the video linked to your left to check out Tales of a War Prophet episode 1, or you may want to continue your journey into the lore of Trench Crusade, in which case, click the video linked to your right. Please consider a like, subscribe, sharing a video with a friend, or becoming a channel member, and if you would like to have a discount on your hobby supplies, click my affiliate link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all soon.